I can't do this. Hey guys, welcome to a special episode of Bodega Nights. My name is Martin, and with me right now is our friend Joel.
What up? What up, guys? Hey, Marts. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having the time here to join me in this very last minute episode, because in a few days, or maybe the next day after this gets released, it will be the finale of Survivor Winners at War. So you
Oh,
better get
yeah.
ready.
Get ready. Do you know that they're gonna do it online this
Yeah,
year?
because
Yeah,
of
they're gonna have like because of the pandemic, they're gonna do it online. They're gonna have a Zoom meeting, I think,
yeah,
with all the
because
castaways.
it's like what's happening right now. Because CBS is the one producing it in the American TVs, because that's where it's
Hmm.
aired. Most of the shows are also using Zoom, so I have a feeling it will be Zoom.
Yeah, it's the go-to thing now. Zoom
Yeah,
meetings for everything.
and broadcast.
Yeah.
Oh man. So going into this season, who was your winner pick out of the 20
Oh, dude.
contestants?
Yeah, I mean, we have all these 20 guys. I'm not really that familiar with all of them because while I am a fan of Survivor, I never really followed a lot of the seasons. But yeah, we talked about it before, and I told you my top three, and I actually have three of them, and I'm very lucky, and I'm not that surprised, but I'm very lucky to have them still in the game. So my
Whoa.
top three are actually Tony,
Uh-huh.
Ben, and Sarah.
Oh
That's my top
snap!
three. Yeah, man, I've got
and
my top three are
and
still in
then
it, and they're poised to be the actual final three. And
and
this
then
was
yeah.
I gave this top three. I don't know when we talked about it, but I had this top three in mind even before the first episode.
Yeah,
And it
way
so happened that
before.
they had like an alliance already going on even before.
Yeah, for me, it was Tyson, but he got kicked out early. Then he came back. Then he got kicked out again. But if you're going for top three, baby, yeah, top two would have been Tony. So I'm glad I got at least one
Hmm.
of them. The third one was, oh god, was Nick. He was like my sleeper pick to win,
Nick,
and he
wow,
was
that's like
sneaking in every time. He,
yeah, he was
I was
the sneaky
surprised.
guy.
I was surprised he got this far in the first place.
Yeah, yeah. He's the most recent winner among all of the contestants the time around, right?
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah,
okay, he's easy pickings, but let's put him in my pick. Then he made it to the
yeah,
merge.
yeah.
Oh god. So speaking of surprises, how big of a surprise was it for you when they started to target the old schoolers? Because outside of Natalie, the
Mhm.
rest of the names and the people, the winners that got kicked out way before the pre-merge, way before the merge happened, were old schoolers.
We're old schoolers. I mean, I guess you kind of figured out that some of the new schoolers would think that way, and it really came to a head at the time, one time, especially between Rob, I think, and it was in their tribe. It was between Rob and Adam. They were sort of building it up. There were these two factions, the old schoolers and the new schoolers, especially Adam. Adam is sort of like the icon or the avatar for the new school. 'Cause he's like young, he's a millennial, and he does all of these sneaky things, and
Yeah.
then yeah, and to see all of I identify more with the old schoolers. That I think that shows my age. But yeah, to see them being picked off one by one, that was kind of a little saddening.
Mhm.
I started getting sad seeing all of these favorites getting picked off, and yeah, I mean, they were also kind of like the bigger players if you really think about it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Two of
they were
them.
basically your legends. I mean,
Yeah. Two
yeah,
had statues.
exactly. They're if Survivor gods had like prophets, they would be Rob and Sandra would be the prophets of the Survivor gods because they had statues put up for it. I'm sure that the ashes are somewhere in the island, and
Yeah.
yeah, they go around. They're bound to see it.
Oh man. Speaking of Rob and Sandra, that's the weird part because it didn't start with the new schoolers taking them out. The
Hmm.
first old schooler that got out was Amber, but that wasn't just
Yes,
Tony and company. That was Tony and Sandra and the company.
Tony and Sandra.
And then
Yeah.
Danny, because she was the one plotting against Boston Rob, and she admitted it. And I thought they were cool. And
Hmm.
then they got kicked out. And then
Hmm.
from then on, it became a domino effect because either they saw the others as threats or
Hmm.
they were eating each other alive. And then the new schoolers found out about that.
Yeah, and it's a funny thing you mentioned Tony there. I mean, actually, Tony, they kind of showed it that Tony and Sandra were cool with each other. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
Because I
I don't know.
think,
Do they have some? Did they play together
oh yeah,
in
they
the
played
season?
in Game Changers where Sarah won. That's where they
I
were
see.
butting heads and Tony got out
Oh
early. I think the first
yeah,
and the
yeah.
second episode.
True,
So,
true, true. Yeah,
so
yeah, 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 yeah.
people were expecting the same thing, and I was like, oh, look, they're working together now. This is cool.
Yeah, dude, the way that Tony has been behaving himself up to about 2 episodes ago, I think that's epic for me, man. I mean, well, I actually picked him among my top three, uh, among my final three, is basically because I knew that he was crazy, and yeah, I needed to see some kind of crazy in my final three, and Tony was it. The way he behaved himself, I mean, everything came to a head when, especially during that one tribal. I don't know which episode that was, episode 11 or episode 10. Even the jury saw it. Tony is different. I mean, Rob himself, Rob Mariano said it. Tony's a boss, and he really showed it. He, it's like it's sort of like a passing of the torch when, and especially since it was Rob who acknowledged that Tony was the boss of the game. That was like, okay, you're the new me. You know, I mean, yeah, Tony's a badass in this season, man.
Yeah, and it's like he's one of the biggest risks of getting out early because of his strategy. But wow,
Yeah,
he laid low, if you
yeah,
call
with the
that
way
laying
he did
low.
that. He was still crazy, but he didn't go off running around looking for idols, planting a target in his back. I mean, the craziest thing that he did during the early game was the ladder.
Oh yeah, and everyone
Yeah,
was thinking, "Oh my God, he's gonna kill himself."
yeah, that bamboo ladder. And he had Wendell on his team, Wendell on his tribe, and Wendell could have like designed a better, or a sturdier ladder, but no, crazy Tony who needed to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, that was
So yeah, I mean,
nuts.
yeah, like what you said, it was Tony Sandra. And yeah, I have an unpopular, and I'm gonna delve into conspiracy theory here.
Uh-huh.
A little bit of a conspiracy theory, and it's unfounded theory, nothing whatsoever to support my claim. I actually think that Sandra and Rob, because they were like the quote unquote survivor messengers from season 39, I actually think that they had an unspoken immunity for at least the first 5 episodes. Because you got to think about it. Why wasn't Sandra targeted right away? She's a two-time winner, right? You had to think about it.
Yeah,
And then
actually.
on the other side, people were sort of targeting Rob, but they weren't voting him out. They voted out Ethan. They were targeting Parvati, but they said that they wanted to weaken Rob. Why not just vote him out?
They
You know
were
what I'm saying?
scared of the idol that he might have. I guess. But
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's early game.
yeah, they can vote him out next time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like a I don't know. It's an unfounded it's an unfounded theory. I'm sure that someone's gonna find evidence to say otherwise. But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
thinking, you know what? Why are they sort of untouchable for the first 5 episodes, and then all of a sudden, Sander gets voted out, and then Rob cranks up his Godfather persona, gets himself voted out.
yeah.
It was like there was like this, we need to control the early game. You need to stay there. The first 5, 6 episodes.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, unfounded conspiracy theory, care of Joel Barcon.
Yeah. Well, but for me though, like you said that Rob went Godfather, and that really, did him in.
Yeah, yeah. That buddy system, that really that was the end of him. That was the end of
Yeah.
him. Although the way that he handled Ben really well.
Oh
He
yeah.
handled Ben really well. I mean, and
That
he
was
handled all of them
funny.
really well. Yeah,
That was
nobody
so
could keep
funny.
secrets from him.
I think for Ben, that's really Boston Rob handling him so well because so anyone
Mhm.
voting out for me? Oh my God, Rob! Yes, someone's voting out for me. What? What? He was
Yeah,
just asking. He wasn't really playing, but he was just asking, and he just gave it away.
yeah, 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 and
Oh
yeah, but you do see it that there was sort of that old school, new school thing going on there. Right? The new game players were like already targeting these guys. They're like, there's this divide, and then the old school players they were trying to adjust. I think among all of the old school players, the one who adjusted the best, in my opinion, was Yule. Yule was sort of able to play the new school style way better than some of the other old schoolers.
Actually, yeah. The only reason why he got voted out was they saw through his plan on the last vote out when they tried to get
Yeah,
out Wendell. Had he
yeah.
shut his mouth and not did the whole Survivor Matt thing, I think he'd
Hmm.
still be there. I think he would have at least
Hmm.
made it to the merge.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's too bad because he's like one of the nicest guys actually in the roster.
Yeah, because he at least he brought up the reason why he came back for the 2 million was for his friend Jonathan and Jonathan's wife.
Johnson's wife. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That was. I mean, it goes to show you that these guys, after their experience in Survivor, uh, some of I mean, I'm sure that all 20 of these guys have had like life changing experiences afterwards, and it's really like I mean, Yul and Penner became fast friends, and they became like really good friends, and then for Yul to come back to the game as a winner, not for himself, but for his friend's wife, who I'm sure is also his. That's like one of the noblest things to do. I mean, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
you try to endure 40 days of being marooned in an island, especially in his case, since he even he got voted off to the edge of extinction.
Yeah, man. Speaking of which, though, because this is the funny part, I know about the legend of Yule Kwan, but that's the season
Mhm.
I never saw. I only saw clips. Did you
Yeah,
get to
actually,
see
you need.
his winning season?
I think I want. No, no, no. Which one was he? He wasn't. Was he Cagayan? Oh no,
Yule
or
was
Caramoan.
in no way earlier. This is post Survivor All Stars, but pre Heroes versus Villains. He was in the same season as Ozzy and Parvati and Jonathan Penner. The one where they got
Huh.
split into four tribes of their ethnicity.
Did it? I think I remember watching some clips of it, but it
Yeah.
also wasn't one of the seasons that I really was like into it. I was. Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of
Yeah.
felt bad when I was watching this. Like all of the 19 winners I know because I saw their seasons, but it was the window, the time frame that Yule won, the time frame that Earl
Mhm.
Cole won. Who else won?
Mhm.
Aros Baskauskas won. Those three seasons were the seasons I didn't get to see outside of Amazon and Thailand. because of
Mm,
reasons.
yeah, I mean, yeah. When they announced that he was one of the contestants, I was like, wait, so this guy won? Who was on his batch? I was like, what?
So,
So what? I mean, because I think Penner came back, right?
oh
That's why
yeah,
I know him.
that's why I know him,
Yeah.
and all I know is he had beef. Penner had beef with him, and apparently they became fast friends after the season. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's weird.
Yeah, and Penner. I think that's why Penner came back because he was number two. I think, diba?
No, I
In their season
recall
or no?
he got voted out during the merge. Uh,
During
the
the merge.
the
Okay.
final two was Yule and Becky, who was like, imagine Rob Mariano in the finals of Redemption Island. Basically, he
Mm,
had that someone who was just a
mm,
yes man to Yule.
yeah.
So that's why he
The
got
what they call the goat.
yeah, the goat.
Yeah.
The
The
goat
goat
was
here
yeah,
stands for something else. Goat in
yeah.
Survivor Land stands for something else, not like in basketball or any other sport.
Yeah, and aside from that, the other one was I think Aussie. Well, we saw Aussie come back a lot of times already.
A lot of times. he changed. He changed through the years.
Like I never saw the Aussie that everyone fell in love with in that season where Yule and Parvati was. I saw
Okay,
was
so
the
they were in
yeah
Cook Islands one. That's it, right?
yeah they're Cook Islands, yeah,
Cook
Cook
Islands.
Islands.
Okay.
The seasons I
Okay.
never saw for one reason or because of Studio 23. Isn't that like the period they stopped showing it there? So I was looking for it.
Yeah, I think so. That's also probably why I wasn't able to see it.
That's why I
That's
got
also most likely why I
annoyed.
wasn't able to
And then I
see
found out,
it.
oh, you're in Jack TV now? Okay, I'm watching it
Yeah.
there. I'm like, what? I missed out on this. What the hell? But yeah, speaking of Yule, yeah, I was surprised how he adapted. But it's like they got through his game because they knew he was the strategic guy. So when
Mhm,
they became the five or I don't know, five per tribe, his target grew because there was no
mhm.
more Sandra. There was no
Yeah.
more bigger targets like Tony.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yule was like,
yeah.
who was his five? It was Yule,
Wendell, Nick,
Wendell,
Michelle, and
Michelle.
oh gosh, who was the other one?
Who was their fifth?
I think there were just four. They voted out someone beforehand,
Mm, yeah.
so it was
And it was
that.
kind of weird because I mean the whole Michelle Wendell thing, even though even though they had a
Oh
bad breakup, they were still working together. And
yeah,
it was
Parvati. Parvati was
the
there.
fifth. There you
Yeah,
go. Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
got her
Parvati was the
out. They got her.
yeah. Yeah. Parvati was the fifth. Yeah. It was so weird because if you think about it, Michelle either Michelle or Wendell would have been probably a swing vote. Wasn't Yule weren't Yule and Parvati working together?
They tried to, but I don't know.
Gets you thinking. Well, yeah, I guess the lines between old school and new school were like really strong. That's
Mhm.
why it was easy for them to pick pick out these old school guys.
Yeah, but for me though, what sticks out to me was a Boston Rob quote: "A win's a
Which
win."
one?
When he was talking to Michelle,
Why so?
because Michelle was one of the winners that seemed to be controversial in their win. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it should have been Aubrey, or for Bennett was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, should have been Chrissy. So when
Mm-hmm.
Rob just told her, like, no, don't think about that. Your win is a win. You won your
Mm-hmm.
season. It goes to
Mm-hmm.
show like there are reasons why they became the winners of their season. It's not because of controversy or like, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, Michelle. I mean, she said also that when she said that was one of her motivations for joining the season. You know? I mean, she wanted to prove that she's a worthy winner,
Yeah, and she's
and
now in Final Five.
she's
So
now in the final five. But you kind of all throughout the episodes, you only kind of see her being in the bottom, never or being in the middle. But
yeah,
it was a weird kind of being in the middle because she was in the middle, but she was being told what the plan was, and they went back to back, right? Like the tribe voted one way and didn't tell her
Yeah.
when she would have been okay voting with them. And yeah, so she was in the very weird position. It was either she was at the bottom or she was in the middle. She'd keep on trying to go, and then I mean, the scene that comes back to me is that scene where she was like, uh, I think it was when they voted out Jeremy finally, and she was really mad at Nick afterwards because Nick and Michelle had gotten close. They
Yeah.
formed
Alliance.
they trusted each other. Yeah,
And it
and
was,
yeah.
yeah, that was the episode where she lost immunity, like where she just sucked at that challenge, and then the next challenge she won. I like how they
Oh
edit that.
yeah,
It's like a
yeah.
redemption.
That was yeah.
Yeah,
This last episode, diba?
yeah.
I
So like,
mean
good for her.
yeah, that was Michelle. Yeah, I mean, you start out, you're like, you suck at the immunity challenge. You can't even get past the first stage of the challenge, and then later on, she pulled it through. I mean, yeah, that's like, yeah. I mean, you start out very sorry for Michelle, and then she has this like victory dance in the end.
Yeah, so this is like her Tony episode, like when Tony was supposed to be voted out, like a couple of episodes ago, before he
Hmm.
started the streak, because
Hmm.
he was given a disadvantage, a extortion advantage. I love how he was reading that. He was so excited. It's an extortion advantage. It's an extortion advantage. This advantage is being played against you.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, he was like, oh no, I never get to do this. I never get to do this in real life. And I finally get to do it, yada, yada, yada. And then he finds out he was played against him. You know what? This is illegal, blah, blah,
This is
blah. It's
illegal.
illegal in
You're
the
gonna get
real world. It
arrested
should
for
be
this.
illegal in Survivor too.
Oh man.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, Tama, that episode, that was the Tony episode. I mean,
Yeah.
you got him. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it always happens. Like whenever, I mean, it happens on TV, right? When a certain character is sort of played up and
Yeah.
featured a lot in the episode, you know that things aren't gonna go well for him in the end. So I was kind of already like waiting for the shoe to drop, like for them to finally take out Tony. But then he got the immunity.
No,
That was like,
he got the tokens first. I was impressed for that one.
yeah.
And then he got the immunity. You know what they did that I felt they dropped the ball on that episode?
Which one? Oh, yeah. What?
They should have showed the reactions of Parvati or Natalie when they saw Tony with the immunity necklace.
Oh, true.
Like, wait,
True.
what the hell is this?
True. But again, they only restored him for his fire tokens. So yeah,
Yeah,
and then they did get the fire tokens. So, diba?
yeah, that's true.
So it's like really, and that sort of gave you the start of Tony's ascent. Diba?
Yeah,
Before then, he was really low key. He was, I mean, you'd have the occasional Tony mention the occasion. I mean, because he's like, yeah, he's crazy. So you have to hear about him every once in a while. But after that episode, I mean, during that they feature him. He gets really featured. That's a Tony episode, and then you start to see his ascent. You start to see that how big of an influence he has over the game. You know, and yeah, that's him. That's why. I mean, I gave you my top three a while ago, but actually my bet to win this, it should be Tony.
yeah,
It should
man.
be. And he's got like the
Ah,
biggest for me. He's got the biggest chance. I mean, in terms of how they've been featuring him.
for me though, like going back to the Michelle episode, it's like a parallel to Tony. Like she was losing, you thought she was gonna lose that episode, yet she got immunity at the end of that episode. So that was
Mhm.
amazing. People are still admiring her work this time around, though, because while she's always at the wrong side of the votes, except maybe the Tyson vote where she voted out Tyson as well, her social game got her afloat well enough for her to garner those fire tokens from other players like Wendell, like I think Sophie, or was that?
No, but when the token she got from Wendell was the token that she gave to Wendell.
Yeah, so it's like a return.
Yeah.
Oh
When
god.
they first got back together, well, not got
Yeah,
back
not
together. When they
not there.
first, yeah, when they when they were grouped together as a token of trust, she gave Wendell a token. Right? That's in basically Wendell's just giving it back. Yeah. Sophie gave her a token as well.
I think so. Her and Sarah. I know she split that to Sarah or someone else.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because she had way too many tokens last time. Michelle. That's why when she got 4 tokens, she easily got a token. She easily got to
Yeah, she
swap it
got the
for the
50-50.
50-50. And
Yeah,
speaking
she
of
got the
the
50.
tokens, what's your take on this for this season? Is it
I
a
mean,
good thing
yeah,
or
I
a
mean,
bad thing?
yeah, you have to figure. I mean, 20 years of doing the same thing. I mean, they've been constantly introducing innovations, and I like the fire tokens. It changes the game, although not too much. It just adds a new dimension to it, and I like how it's the a lot of it is because the people from the edge of extinction are selling things to the people who are still in the game. That it's not something that I don't think that anyone really got anything from the menu while they were still in the game, right? Not a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
them did.
Nah, not really.
It's really more of they save it because they might get something from the edge. I like that dynamic that people from the edge of extinction can still have an opportunity to influence the game by sending these different advantages and getting fire tokens for them. It's a new it's an innovation. It's but I and it changes the game, but I don't think that it changes by too much. Yeah, so I'm all for it actually.
That's good. That's good. For me at first, like, why put it there? And then, like, uh, as the game progresses, I was like, this is interesting because as Tony had a good point about this. There's inflation on the fire tokens, and he
Mm-hmm.
felt that because of the extortion advantage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
god,
and you know who benefited the most out of all of that, man,
Natalie.
was Natalie. My God, Natalie, Edge Beast, man, Edge Beast. That's like I love how she was the first castaway voted out, and she stuck it out all the way for like 35 days.
Yeah.
And she's still there. And not only did she just stay at the edge of extinction, she was dominating the edge of extinction. She was the queen at the edge of extinction, man. I mean,
And
yeah,
yeah, she's ripped, man. She's ripped.
yeah,
Way before the game started. She's ripped.
yeah. You got Natalie. I mean,
Oh.
that was. I mean, Natalie. I think she's like, yeah, she's a beast. She's a beast.
That's one of the bigger surprises. I'm like, I didn't know she dominate in the
Mm-hmm,
edge, and she is. Oh
mm-hmm,
god.
mm-hmm. Dude, I mean, she was able to buy 3 advantages, a jar of peanut butter, and she was able to gift Titan an immunity to a hidden idol. Diba? So I mean that's how much of a beast she was on the edge.
Yeah.
Especially remember with the coconuts, she was lapping everyone. Everyone was taking so long, and she was just lapping everyone. That was like, wow, Nat.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the episode that you talked about, the coconut episode, how did you
Mm.
like their edit for Ethan and how they told his story about trying to overcome that? I like that part of the episode.
I think you're talking about the logs.
Oh, sorry, logs. Yeah, the first
Yeah,
one.
yeah. That was brutal, man. I mean, especially knowing that leading into the season that Ethan was a cancer survivor,
Yeah.
and then you have him this season. A lot of the castaways, well, a good number of them have these stories. Like you have Yule, who's playing not for himself, and you have a guy like Ethan who won all the way in season two, right? He was season two, Africa.
Season three. Season three.
Three. Oh yeah,
Uh,
two was Australia. Thought
Australia.
that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Tina.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got this guy from like all the way from season three, and then he goes through a life changing experience, if, wins over cancer, and but you see how his like that part where he was like he fainted. Right? He fainted. He medical had to come in, and then for him to overcome it, and then for the three ladies to accompany him to get the last log. That was like that was touching. That was hella touching, man. I mean, yeah. Props to Ethan for being able to overcome that, for being able to show fans, and because I know that Survivor has a lot of young kids who are fans of the show, for someone like him to show them a cancer survivor, then overcoming something like that, something a huge toll in his body. He had been on the edge for like what? How many days already? One scoop of rice a day, maybe, or I don't know. And then overcoming doing that. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that was touching. That was touching, man. They
Man,
called it the survivor moment.
it made me remember his win in Africa, and like, wow, it's been 20 years since that happened. And
Yeah,
time, so father time is not kind to everyone.
yeah, yeah. He was like he's a football player, for Christ's sake. He's an athlete. Then yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, the fact that he was able to pick himself up again, and then he was able to finish the lead. It
Yeah.
kind of mirrors the fall of Austin Rob in the coconut episode. Diba? I mean, Rob also had a incident where he slipped and like injured his elbow,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
the coconut
yeah,
challenge. Yeah. Oh god.
yeah, the coconut challenge. I mean, everyone was done. All six already got their advantages or whatever they got from the challenge, but Rob kept on going back because of his pride. It sort of mirrors what happened to Ethan. Although, I mean, you have a lot of these things where these individuals who are out there. I mean, in the end, it's a game, but for them, it it's also a chance for them to show perseverance, show good qualities that some of their fans might be able to pick up on, and it's a good thing that they do that.
That's true, man. Like, uh, I like that edit as well. Speaking of Edge of Extinction participants, because the last episode will have them, return one of them. Who's your
Yeah.
bet?
Uh, I kind of think it. I kind of think it won't be Rob, because I'm sure that he'll give one hell of a fight,
Yeah.
uh, and Tyson will get a hell of a fight. I know that he's like your guy,
Yeah.
but with all of her advantages and the fact that she's a beast, it's gotta be Natalie. It's
Yes.
gotta be Natalie.
Yes. He's the biggest. She has the biggest chances to win for that
Yeah,
challenge.
man. Three advantages, although we don't know what the challenge is gonna be. I mean, three advantages, and I mean during if I remember correctly, uh, did I don't know the advantages didn't really help a lot of the guys who got them the first time around, right?
Yes. Remember, Yule didn't get an advantage, but he was in the top. He was about to finish the challenge before Tyson or Rob, and then Tyson and Rob tried to follow up with that for
Yeah,
Tyson to win. and Yul had zero advantages. He was like fresh off
Yeah.
being voted out.
Yeah. So yeah, you never really know. You never really know. But yeah, I mean, for Natalie to have three advantages, that's for me that's too big. I mean, it's like you're if the challenge was going to be in three stages, so she's going to start at the third stage already.
I
It's
guess
her
so.
challenge to lose, man. It's her challenge to lose. For me, it's her. If she loses that challenge, I mean, it takes a bit of the beast mode respect, mad respect that I have for her. But I mean, she's still at the edge beast. She's for me the queen of the edge. I mean, because Sandra hardly stayed
Yeah.
also on the edge.
Well, speaking of Sandra, what's your take on that? Because for me, I don't see it as something wrong of her to quit because she proved herself already. These guys never won it twice. She's the only
Hmm.
one that won it twice. So it's like,
Yeah,
okay, I'm done. I'm good. Bye, guys.
yeah,
Like I got no
yeah.
beef on that.
I go back to my unfounded conspiracy theory that her and Rob, apart from getting that 5 episode immunity, this was sort of like their okay, you need to be in this game. But I don't think that Sandra actually really wanted to be in it. But she had to be in it, and that's why she kept on begging off from. She didn't want to exert herself. It's one thing for you to know that you're not good at physical challenges, but for her, I mean, it was back to back. The challenges that she. This was also the first time that they allowed that you can sit down from back to back challenges, right?
That's why. So we should call it the Sandra bench.
That's why it's the Sandra bench now, right? But yeah, she kept on begging off because they were physical challenges. She was gonna exert herself physically, and I don't think that she wanted to do. She would have been in that state. She wanted to do it, and she knew that if she stayed at the edge, the end of that journey was yet another physical challenge. Because I mean,
Yeah,
it would
come
have been a
on.
physical challenge for her to get back in the game. And I don't think that she wanted that. So the moment that she got voted out, she already had her mindset. I'm not gonna stay long on the edge. I'm gonna bring myself to the the
Ponderosa or
hotel.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Right?
keep forgetting she's been there way before they were there. She and
Exactly.
Rob.
She and
Oh,
Rob, they
oh,
I
yeah.
don't think that they went home after season 39. Do you
Yeah.
think that they went home?
No, because it look if you see how their bodies were that time, like, oh god, they feel it's like they were just stuck there since Island of the
Yeah.
Idols.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I really think that they were okay. You're already here. Uh, I probably yeah, and good on CBS for doing that loved ones visit this time
Oh
around.
yeah, that was great.
That, that was great. I mean,
I got
usually
to see,
you have
yeah,
one or two.
I got to see John Fincher, man. I was happy to see him. Like, oh shit, it's John Fincher! It's John Fincher and the baby!
So yeah, man. I mean, for that to for CBS to do that for all of these guys. I mean, they started it out with a toast. They
Yeah.
started this whole season with a toast, and then they all went into an immunity challenge right away. While the contestants were probably some of them were probably tipsy.
Drunk. Oh
But yeah, I
man.
mean, this basically has been a celebration. This whole season has been a celebration, and it was good on CBS for doing that for bringing all of the families of all of the castaways, and not just the ones who were still on the island, but even the ones on the edge. That was that
Yeah.
was that was big. I mean, for them to already have done that for the guys who were still in the game, and then to go ahead and do that for the guys on the edge of extinction, that was huge. That was huge. Yeah, that was another survivor moment.
Oh man, yeah. And speaking of that, so your pick is Natalie for the Edge. For me, I'm still hoping Tyson because he also has enough tokens, and Natalie gave him an immunity idol
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
he had
Also,
way
does
too
he?
many tokens.
Uh-huh. So wait, does he also have 6 tokens?
It's either that because I know he's one of the people who made it to the challenge, right? To the coconut challenge,
Uh-huh.
and he had
They got
an
two. He got two tokens from that, right?
yeah, and I think he had another
And
token. So
he had one
oh,
token from the one that Rob like got all of the other three ones.
yeah, so I guess it's like he also has three advantages, and now he has another idol. Like he has his own idol, so he won't get voted out when he comes back. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's our pick. But who's your underrated pick? Who might possibly win that Edge of Extinction challenge? For me,
Edge of Extinction challenge for you. Who do you have? Who do you
well,
have?
my top pick is Tyson. Your top pick is Natalie. That's like our
Uh-huh.
over. Our under
Yeah.
for me, it's gonna be. You're not gonna like this pick. Uh,
No, man, come on, Adam.
no, no,
What?
not Adam. Not Adam. You're not. Maybe
I wasn't gonna
Danny.
like it.
Yeah, Danny.
Danny. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
she's
I
not the
mean,
top pick, but it's like
mhm,
she she wasn't the suckiest player in the coconut challenge or the twig
mhm,
challenge. She
mhm,
seems to
mhm.
be under the radar. So that's my second pick.
My under. Who would my under be? If it were just for sentiment,
Yeah.
I would be rooting for Ethan.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Ethan.
No, I would, if it was for sentiment alone, I would be rooting for Ethan, just to like uh, yeah, because he's like the quote unquote oldest winner in the race. So yeah, I'd root for him. Another under. Hmm. But if it was like really yeah, it would probably either be Ethan or I would go for Yule.
Ah, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, yo.
yeah.
Speaking of Adam, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh
I don't know.
Jesus
Yeah, yeah.
Christ.
I don't know. Maybe it's like a generational thing, but I
He's so
I
annoying.
dislike the guy.
Yeah,
He whines too much.
I like how they're editing him. I call it the Millhouse edit. He's like the Millhouse of that season. Like the guy, the kid from The Simpsons, the
Uh-huh.
whiny kid that gets all the shit on piled on top of him, even though he
Uh-huh.
may
Uh-huh.
or may not deserve it. He still gets
Uh-huh.
shit on, and that's
Yeah.
Adam. He
I mean,
gets.
I mean, he tried. He tried so hard to be like this manipulative. Really, like he tried to imitate Rob Mariano, but no, it. Yeah, he said it so himself. I mean, he was full of hubris. He hatched a plan. He told his opponents about his plan, expecting his opponents to just play along. Ah, gosh, it's not
Oh
that good.
man,
Ah,
it's
I mean,
so
yeah. I mean,
funny.
he's a winner. He's
Yeah,
won, but
it was.
oh gosh, I
It
don't
goes
know,
to
man.
show who was his. It goes to show, like, yeah, he won, but man, he. I don't know. His strategy here doesn't pan out because it's all winners. Same like
Mm-hmm.
Boston Rob. His strategy
Mm-hmm.
doesn't win because this is an all winners system thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of them are alpha males. I mean, alphas. So yeah, his Godfather thing. It sort of like makes you wonder though, how is it successful for Tony?
He didn't play Tony in the early game.
I don't know. I mean, how?
He was
Uh-huh.
playing Judd Fabio Briza for all we know, trying to medevac himself to death. Right?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, how's it? I mean, yeah, because I mean, you've got Rob. He was playing his usual Godfather mode, and then you've got Tony, who's sort of still making moves, and he even had that whole undercover thing going on for a while with his alliance of five, and then Jeremy, Michelle, Nick. Oh, no, not Nick. Nick was in his alliance of five. Denise, I think, was in the other side. No, no, no.
Yeah.
Denise would have been in his alliance as well. But yeah, anyway, I mean, he had that. But he's succeeding. What? And I guess that you could say that because he's Rob, that was to his detriment.
Oh yeah, the
And
name.
because Tony is Tony, you don't expect that from Tony. And then he suddenly plays like that, under the radar but manipulative.
Yeah, it's weird because for the new schoolers, the biggest target would be Tony, and yet here he is.
Yeah,
Not a
yeah,
vote in the past few episodes. Like, what the hell's going on here?
yeah, yeah. And then this string of immunity wins, three straight until the latest one. That was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why, like, I mean, Tony's my man, man.
Okay, so for your pick
Crazy Tony.
is obviously Tony for this episode. If you were to pick one of your top three, you're gonna pick Tony.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tony's in my top three. Tony's in my top three.
Yeah, because for me, it's like he's the only one in my top three that's still there. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
holding on hope that Tyson might be the guy who
Tyson.
comes back.
Tyson.
Might be the guy,
Yeah.
and that's our prediction. So it's like you're Tony, I'm Tyson, and
Mm.
wish us luck in this final
Yeah.
episode. Oh God,
Yeah, man. It's on
it's on.
soon.
In Manila time, it's gonna be Thursday night. In
Mm-hmm.
American
Thursday
Standard
morning.
Time, oh yeah, Thursday morning, and in here
Yeah.
it's gonna be Wednesday night. Like it airs here like 9 p.m. in my time slot because it's 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Eastern, and I'm like an hour earlier, so it kind of sucks.
Mm.
I gotta stay up for that, and it's a 3 hour
Yeah.
Zoom thing. I don't know. Maybe they'll
Yeah.
link it to us because it's CBS. It has a lot of money. Maybe just
Mhm.
maybe they'll give us the Zoom link to tune in on Zoom while watching up on our TV. I hope. I hope.
That could happen, or
Right?
maybe they just. I hope that they do that, because otherwise, what they do is they do it
They cut to
on
Zoom.
CBS, or I mean, you have to go on CBS.com, and then that would mean that it wouldn't be available for Philippine territories.
Yeah, or other countries. Damn you,
Yeah.
CBS. Well, for me, just come on, CBS. Just give us the Zoom link. We'll go there. So, like, while we're watching,
Yeah.
we can hear them like do some commentary, right? it's like
Yeah, man.
it's like a Zoom viewing party. I hope that's happening.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here's wishing.
Here's missing. So speaking of that, thank you so much, Joel, for joining us in this special edition of Bodega Nights. And we talked
Anytime,
about
anytime.
Survivor. And
Survivor, man.
yeah, I mean,
And you know what I do miss. I mean, they've taken this hasn't happened in a while. I'm just gonna play it
okay.
for you. I don't know if you hear it, but yeah, I do miss this, man. I do miss this a lot.
All right, that intro.
Dude, the intro. I miss that. I miss that.
Well,
Yeah,
you better get ready.
yeah, man.
But yeah, so thank you so much, Joel. This is our Survivor episode. Catch us again here on channel14.com. This is Martin, and with Joel, we'll say goodbye. Peace.
Bye, guys. Peace.